for 0 less than or equal to r less than or equal to n, an r permutation of A is a way of arranging any r of the objects of A in a row. And when you have r equal to n, we will get an n permutation. So an n permutation, so that is called a permutation of A. So when you simply say a permutation of A, that means it is the n permutation, and by r permutation you mean, so that is the number of different ways of arranging any r objects out of n objects given. So that is the permutations. Now let us see how do we get the formula for permutations. Now here we use നിങ്ങൾ സാധാരണ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള notation ഇതായിരിക്കും NPR and NCR for permutation and combination. So here we are going to use a slightly different notation. So that's what we just followed in our textbook. So let we write it as P and R. So let P and R denote the number of r permutations of A. So by P and R we mean that is the number of permutation of r objects out of n. So that is number of permutation of n distinct objects taken r at a time. Okay. So now we will look at what is the value of P and R. Now for forming an R permutation, so we require R steps, and with the R steps, by using multiplication principle, we will find out what is the R permutation. So in the R permutation you have to arrange R objects. So you have the first objects, then you have the second, so you have the third object, then r minus 1th object and the rth object. So you have to out of the n objects, so you need to arrange r objects at a time. So an R permutation can be formed in R steps. So the first step will be to choose an object from A and put it in the first position. So first we choose an object from A and we will put it in the first position. So this can be done in n ways, കാരണം total A യിൽ n objects ഉണ്ട്, and any one of the object can be placed in the first position. So for the first position you have n choices. Now from the remaining objects, in A we put an object in the second position, so which can be done in n minus 1 ways. So that can be done in n minus 1 ways. Similarly, in the third position you can place n minus 2 objects, so on. Here when you come to the rth position, so that will be n minus r minus 1. So in the rth position, so there are n minus r minus 1 choices. So now by using the multiplication principle, so take the product. So we are filling up r positions one after the other. First you need to fill the first position, then the second, then the third, then the rth position. So therefore by multiplication principle, so NPR, so that will be equal to first position n, then n minus 1, n minus 2, etc., n minus r minus 1. So that will be equal to n into n minus 1, n minus 2, etc., n minus r plus 1. So that is n factorial by n minus r factorial. So that is the number of permutation of n different objects taken r at a time without repetition. So this is the number of permutation of n different objects or n distinct objects taken r at a time without repetition. So when you say PNR, this is what it means. So it's a number of permutation of n distinct objects taken r at a time without repetition. And again, by convention we define 0 factorial to be 1, and Pn 0 is equal to 1 and Pnn is equal to n factorial. So we have 0 factorial equal to 1, so using that np 0, that will be equal to 1, and npn will be equal to n factorial. So that is how we define the permutation. So in the next class we will see a few problems on permutation.